Welcome back to BuzzOwl 9, your source for societal, celebrity, and sports commentary. Today, we're taking a close look at a story that has dominated Google Trends, social media timelines, and global conversations: IShowSpeed's whirlwind livestream tour across Africa. This isn't a fan tribute. This isn't a hype reel. It's a deep dive to understand the cultural shockwaves behind the adventure and chaos. One creator, 20 countries, and a continent watching back. But before we dive in, let's ask the question at the heart of this moment. What happens when a creator meets a continent that refuses to fit into his expectations? First up, a journey to the motherland. Imagine trading your gaming setup for a month-long collision with an entire continent. That's exactly what IShowSpeed did when he launched his Speed Does Africa tour, a livestream marathon designed to show Africa in real time, without filters, edits, or scripts. But beneath the chaos was something deeper, a personal mission to trace his heritage, capped with a promised DNA reveal, and a public mission to dismantle the baboons and mud hut stereotypes that still circulate online. Speed admitted early on that Africa felt refreshing, opening his eyes to a beauty he hadn't expected. And from the moment he landed, it was clear this journey would be raw, unpredictable, and far more meaningful than anyone anticipated. Angola, the awakening. Ambient street sounds, chatter, traffic, a burst of laughter. Speed's first steps in Angola set the tone for everything that followed. He wasn't trying to make a statement, he was just reacting in real time, wide-eyed and unfiltered. But the world heard something different. His early reaction, "Africa is not what people think, this is crazy, bro," ignited a cultural spark. People clipped it, debated it, and used it to challenge outdated Western narratives. Suddenly, Speed wasn't just a streamer abroad, he had become a mirror reflecting global misconceptions back at the audience consuming them. In that moment, the tour shifted from entertainment to cultural commentary. Botswana, South Africa, the adventure phase, safari ambience, wind, distant animal calls, a sudden elephant trumpet. Speed's next stops turned Africa into a living highlight reel. In South Africa, he raced a cheetah even after it scratched his leg before the sprint. In Botswana, he challenged Olympic champion Letsile Tebogo and, thanks to a lucky stumble, crossed the finish line first. In Zimbabwe, he raced Africa's strongest woman with a car tied around his waist. He climbed onto a car doing high-speed donuts, screamed at elephants, wandered Kosi neighborhoods, reacted to murals of himself, and tried to pull a truck in the heat. Africa wasn't a backdrop. It was a character, vibrant, unpredictable, and alive. But beneath the spectacle, something more human was emerging. Ethiopia, the cracks begin to show. During a long, exhausting stream, Speed finally admitted, "I'm pushing myself so hard out here. Man, this tour is different." For a creator known for limitless energy, this was a rare moment of vulnerability. It revealed the emotional cost of turning your life into content, the burnout, the pressure, the weight of millions watching. And yet, according to another creator's commentary, Speed later said he would have stayed an extra day in Ethiopia if his schedule allowed. A small detail, but one that showed how deeply the continent was affecting him. Culture, food, and discovery. As the tour continued, Speed's journey shifted from chaos to connection. In Johannesburg, he donned traditional Zulu attire and learned the art of Zulu dancing. In Zimbabwe, he tried fried worms, cow testicles, and cow tongue and declared them amazing. In Botswana, a young girl taught him to play the marimba, and he gifted her money in gratitude. He even stumbled into a lesson on global economics when he tried to buy a diamond and learned that local stones were tied up in long-standing agreements with Western buyers, a moment that exposed the lingering shadows of colonial systems to millions of young viewers. These weren't just cultural moments. They were revelations. A continent of friends and fans. Speed often says he experiences racism on tours in other parts of the world. In Africa, he felt the opposite. "Nothing but love," he told his viewers, and the tour proved it. Schoolchildren in South Africa greeted him with songs. In Angola, a dance troupe pulled him into a circle, In Zimbabwe, he met a fan who looked almost identical to him. In Angola, he met a young boy who resembled him even more, prompting jokes about finding his long-lost brother. Artists honored him with breathtaking creations, a massive sand sculpture in Angola, a glass hammer portrait in South Africa, and in Angola, he played football against nearly 100 children at once, a chaotic, joyful match captured by drone footage that instantly went viral. These moments weren't curated. They were spontaneous expressions of connection, the kind of authenticity no production team could manufacture. Landscapes, legends, and livestream history. Speed streamed the sweeping coastlines of Mozambique, the bustling streets of Nairobi, and the serene beauty of Botswana's countryside. But Egypt was the emotional peak. Wearing a traditional galabia, he explored Cairo before livestreaming from the pyramids of Giza, a moment he claimed was the first livestream ever done from the site. Whether or not that's true, the moment felt historic. Millions watched as he stood before one of humanity's greatest wonders, humbled and exhilarated. Algeria, the breaking point. Then came Algeria. At the Nelson Mandela Stadium, Speed expected another joyful football experience. Instead, he was met with hostility. Water bottles and objects flew from the stands. Stadium staff warned him that fans disliked being filmed and that wearing the Algerian national team jersey instead of a local club's shirt might have offended supporters. Confused and shaken, Speed said quietly on stream, "They don't like me, they keep throwing water at me." The internet erupted. Some blamed football ultras. Others said fans simply didn't want to be filmed. Many argued it reflected deeper racial tensions between sub-Saharan and North African communities. The ambiguity turned the moment into a global flashpoint, a canvas onto which people projected their own experiences, biases, and frustrations. Searches for IShowSpeed Algeria incident skyrocketed. The narrative shifted overnight from celebration to controversy. The legacy of an unfiltered journey. The Algeria incident didn't erase the love Speed received across the continent, but it did complicate the story, and in many ways, that complexity made the tour more meaningful. Speed's Africa tour wasn't a polished documentary. It wasn't a brand-safe travel show. It was messy, emotional, chaotic, beautiful, and painfully honest, everything real travel tends to be. He raced cheetahs. He danced with tribes. He learned instruments. He tasted foods he never imagined. He met fans who saw themselves in him. He exposed global systems without meaning to. He showed modern Africa to millions of young viewers who had never seen it portrayed accurately. And he faced a moment of hostility that reminded the world that cultural exchange is never simple. As he told his viewers, the narratives online about Africa are fake. Across the continent, the emotional thread. Through every high and low, Speed kept returning to one sentiment, sometimes whispered, sometimes shouted, "This is the real Africa, real people, real love." This line resonated because it captured the heart of the tour, a messy, imperfect, emotional attempt to connect with a continent that embraced him in ways he didn't expect. It became a symbol of authenticity, cross-cultural curiosity, and the complicated beauty of unscripted travel. And perhaps a friendly reminder to those who are watching that what we see online is never the whole story, but it always tells us something about ourselves. The IShowSpeed Touring Africa livestream that we witnessed wasn't just a creator traveling, it was a global audience confronting its own assumptions, biases, and curiosities in real time, and perhaps that's why this story matters to some viewers. It's not about whether IShowSpeed was right or wrong. It's about what his journey revealed about us, the viewers, the commentators, the cultures watching each other through a screen. Did this tour reveal more about Speed, or more about the world reacting to him? You've been tuned in to BuzzOwl 9. Be sure to select the next video. Thank you.